What's up, everybody? Welcome to Nintendo Power Block for November 3rd, 2017. I can't believe it's November already. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deering, and alongside me, as always, that retro code, Edward Varnell.
Yatta! Hey, everybody. Welcome to Nintendo Power Block. Yes.
Ed, I'm so excited. You know why?
Yes.
We have a guest for the first time since, E3.
Hey.
Our guest is Trey Johnson.
Yay!
Trey Johnson from NintenDomain podcast. How you guys doing? I'm glad to be here.
Good.
So super good to have you.
I know.
Okay, I love the Dragon Warrior poster. I'm just seeing it and I love him.
See my your shirt too.
Yes.
Don't worry, if you have anything Ed remotely likes, he's gonna ask you to marry him. So it's so.
That is true.
Trey, before we get started in all this craziness, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and where you're from, what you're doing on the internet, all that kind of stuff.
Sure. I do a couple podcasts. My main podcast is NintenDomain Podcast. You can find that at NintenDomainPodcast.com. We have a website, and you can also find it on iTunes or any other place that sells podcasts and such. I do YouTube videos at YouTube/FingMater. I also have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/NintenDomain Podcast, where I do new Switch gameplays every Thursday and retro gameplays on Sunday. I've been doing horror games lately. I just did Eternal Darkness last Sunday, and I did Killer 7 before that.
Nice.
I just got More Fight, which is that first-person shooter. No Man's Sky type thing that came out for Switch, so I'll probably do a stream of that later after I'm done recording this. So just try to record a lot of stuff that I'm playing, and I did Super Mario Odyssey last week, of course, for the new Switch game. But
yes,
nice.
But stuff like that, and I'm pretty much, I've been a Nintendo fan my whole life, so I mostly stay towards those systems. But I own a PS4. I don't play it a whole lot, but I've been playing a lot of Switch, obviously, because it's pretty hot right now. And I live in Chicago. My co-hosts live in Spain and Los Angeles. So
you're only an hour away from me.
Where are you at?
I'm in North Chicago,
close
nice. To Waukegan. Yeah.
Well, I'm in Logan Square. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Small world. Do you ever go to the Midwest Gaming Classic? Have you ever been there?
I want to go back. I've been to one a couple of years ago before I even met Corey, and I want to go back. I'm trying to go back next year. I know it's in March.
I went this year and I went last year, and it's a blast. And they're actually upgrading it now. It's not in the hotel anymore. It's in this giant center thing downtown. So it's gonna be awesome. So I'll be there. We'll be there for sure. So.
Is it still in Madison, Wisconsin?
Milwaukee.
Oh, they moved it to Milwaukee. Okay. See, yeah, the one that I went to, it was in Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I went. Yeah, like I said, I went to the first one last year. I went there because Retronauts was there. I just wanted.
Yeah.
And they were there this year as well. I think they go there every year, or at least for the past two that I've done. But it's a lot of fun. It's I'm super into old games and stuff like that. I probably buy a new retro game. At least one or two a week. It's kind of stupid, but I just ordered Doom on Game Boy Advance for $20 for 1 and 2. If you
nice.
So I kind of I spend way too much money there, but it's a lot of fun. I think I bought a Sega Genesis when I was there because I never actually owned one. So
yeah, I'm probably going to try to go this year. I need to find out where at and what dates, and probably get a hotel. So
I haven't gotten a hotel yet, but I keep telling myself that I should, just because they just announced the dates. It's I think it's the second weekend of April.
Oh, cool! That's probably about the week of my birthday. I could go. I could take that weekend off and go up there.
For sure. Let me find the exact. Yeah, it's the 14th, 15th, and 6th. Or no, the 13th through the 15th.
That's the 15th. Okay, yeah, that could be my birthday weekend because if the 10th is probably going to be a weekday that I work, and that weekend I'll take off for it. Yes.
Yeah, but it's totally fun. You should come up, and we'll stay in touch, and we get to see each other and all that.
Yes.
Nice.
But cool. Is that Did you guys need more from my backstory, or do you want me to? I don't know.
You know what? If you want to keep going, you just keep going. If not, you can just we can talk about games we've been playing if you want.
Okay. Yeah, no, go into that.
Well,
Sure.
Trey, since you're the guest, you're gonna go first. I think we've all been pretty much playing the same thing, but
Well, I was gonna say the number one game that I've been playing is the same game that you guys have been playing, right? It's that what is that Space Bears game that was like $3? No, not that one.
Yeah.
Super Mario Odyssey.
Space Bears. I remember that. I was clicking through the eShop like what's on sale, and it was like $3.49 or something. I'm like,
I don't remember the actual name of it, but it's pretty ridiculous. But yeah, no, of course I've been playing Super Mario Odyssey. I'm sure you guys have made it through the main game, right?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I've been.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Corey.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I've been like really thoroughly going through. I just got to Bowser's Kingdom, and like so like that I'm there now, but it's just like I've been thoroughly going through all these stages, trying to get everything that I possibly can without trying too hard, and it's just like these worlds just keep going and going and going, and the more you do, the more the stage opens up, and it's just like I can't believe like how intricate and dense these stages are.
Oh yeah, I really wanted to get to the end game because we just recorded our Odyssey episode last night, so I wanted to get to see the second half of the game. So I just I didn't necessarily blow through it, but Tuesday night I did. I was just like, I just want to get through the end so I can see what comes after that. But I think I'm around like 300 something on my moon count. I was going to ask you where you guys were at for that.
I think I'm at 82 because I actually just fought Bowser for the first time with his hat and punched him. That was a good
That was
fight.
a cool fight.
That was, yeah. And so right now I'm in the Lost Jungle where he knocked me at. So that's where I'm at.
So you got a lot to go, like for the regular story then.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have like 180 something moons, I think. So I'm a little bit farther than Ed, but like I know the game really opens up after you beat Bowser, which is why I kind of stopped going around to each kingdom trying to get through everything and just going straight to Bowser because I want everything to open up. And like I know more kingdoms open up after you fight Bowser and stuff. I actually I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a really cool fight before you get to Bowser's kingdom that's was super unexpected and really cool. So like Bowser as a friend. We're just gonna throw it out there.
And yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. So like I'm really enjoying Odyssey. Like there's a point in the game where I was like, okay, this feels a lot like Mario. I don't know if it's gonna be in my game of the year discussion. It feels a lot like a 3D Mario game, and Ed knows this. I really like the new Super Mario Brothers games, and I really like Mario 3D World, just because each stage has like one thing to achieve, and then you can collect the coins afterwards. But there's this point in the game where I just started realizing like, oh my gosh, this game, the things this game does and things it does well, and the things that change while you're playing the game, kind of is like, okay, I get it now. Like this is why I loved Super Mario 64. There's certain areas where like there's paintings in the world, and you can either take a picture of them because it's a hint to get a moon in an earlier stage or whatever, or there's like paintings that you can warp through and go to a different stage, and it actually takes you to a different kingdom, a back entrance to another kingdom, and there's usually a moon waiting there for you. And I'm like,
yeah,
this is really clever. This is really smart. And a lot of the capture designs were like, at first, like, this isn't a spoiler, it's in the thing, but like when you capture that T-Rex, like I'm like, okay, this is funny, this is cool, but like it doesn't really have any real kind of gameplay mechanics, at least from what I see, except for to break these blocks open to get to the next area. But
he's like a giant superstar.
Pretty much. And then, but you get to the Luncheon Kingdom, and you're like capturing the Hammer Brothers, but they're not Hammer Brothers. They're spatula throwers, and like you capture the flames that you can go through the purple goo that's all around, and it's just like, how do they think of all this? Like it's like Zelda, where like everything is placed in the world for a specific reason, and it takes a minute to realize that, but like, okay, this like in the Luncheon Kingdom, this formation is formed a specific way because it's really a puzzle to get to a moon, or you know what I mean? It's just like, it's crazy.
They would probably have a lot of board meetings where it's like, this time let's be the giant flame ball, that you've seen in Mario for so long. I feel like that's probably where a lot of this started, right? Where it's like, what if we could become the bad guys, or what if we could be the enemies that we fought for so long?
Yeah.
And work around that. I mean, yeah. I don't want to say anything more.
Yeah, and it's just really smart design. Man.
One thing I do want to say is not spoiler. Well, it sort of is, but you can get to some of the levels that you're not supposed to get to till after the game through those portals.
Yeah.
So you should search for that, because I did find one early before I beat the game by finding one of those painting portal things. So it's pretty cool.
It's so weird. A lot of people are now treating this game almost like Devil May Cry, like DMC with the jumping. It surprises me on just that little hat mechanic, how people could get to different areas using it. So they could. Oh, go ahead, Trey.
Oh, I just said sure. I was just agreeing with you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just like, how are you guys using the jump, the wall jump, and the hat, and the camera, and sometimes the camera, just like it looks like they're jumping on the TV screen to get up, and it's just like, how y'all doing this? This is like Killer Instinct gameplay.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. I mean, they've had stuff like that since Super Mario 64. Like, I remember watching really tiny videos of people like getting to the castle without having 120 stars, like back in the 90s, on fucking N64.com. Is it all right to cuss? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But it is or it isn't?
No, it is. You can say whatever you want. It's fine.
Okay. I didn't ask earlier, but if you guys ever were on IGN back when it was called N64.com, they used to have the really tiny videos, QuickTime videos or whatever. Anyway, I watched a video of somebody jumping up the castle, like that same sort of insane, like what you were talking about. And a lot of the controls, the moves that you have has stayed the same. So yeah, with the hack mechanic too, you can do all sorts of crazy stuff on there.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm enjoying it. The more I play, the more I'm finding enjoyment out of it, I think. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about Mario, because like ever since I was like a little, like Mario's always been about, get from point A to point B, even Mario 64 to the extent, right? Because like you go in and you choose the star that you want to go after, and you go in, and then it resets you when you get out, and for me, like that's Mario. And I felt different about Breath of the Wild, because Zelda is about exploration and testing out things and learning the environment and stuff, and solving the puzzles with the items that you have, right? And then you go to Mario, where they kind of open it up like that. And I know Galaxy was like this to some extent, but like opening it up to the point where it's almost like Zelda, and you can go wherever you want, test out your theories, and kind of try to attempt to get these moons that you're not supposed to get yet, is like it felt overwhelming in a different way than Zelda did when I started it. Mm-hmm. But once you kind of settle down and learn what the worlds are trying to do and what the game's trying to do, man, this is one of the. There's a reason why it's rated one of the highest games of all time. It's just fantastic.
It's good, yeah. Yeah, that's like two major things that I always felt like they should do with Mario. Like, number one, not restart the level every time you get a star. Like, that was something I always kind of wanted. And number two, infinite lives. Like, I always felt like that should be something that should have been done a long time ago. Mm-hmm. You really don't need to. I mean, I feel like that's tedious, just to hunt down lives, so you don't get a game over, because nothing doesn't really change that much, because it saves every time you get a star. So I know some people were mad about it, like not having lives, but I'm not. I mean, I'm like, it makes sense, like it's for those type of games, you really shouldn't have a certain amount of lives.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's like if you have live, like the live thing was just such a dumb thing for you to like reset your thing, because like if you lose 3 lives, you get the game over screen, and then you have to reload the game, and it's just this dumb nonsensical thing, you know. And I think the coin penalty was the smarter way to do it, and it's just like 10 coins, whatever. You can find that in like 5 seconds.
Exactly.
Yeah, you normally find, like, even if you're stuck on one part that you keep dying on, like there's a particular thing that I couldn't do, but I would still at least get like 20 coins every time. Mm-hmm. Does anything happen if you run out of coins? Have you guys ever done that, like where you're out of coins and you die?
I haven't. No, I haven't tried it, but like at this point, it would take me forever. It would take me forever to lose all those coins anyway. So I'm like, yeah, I'll probably look it up on YouTube at some point. But
times like in a row, because that never happened to me, like where I completely ran out of coins. So I'm sure it does something maybe, but I didn't really want to see, I guess, or lose all those coins, because you need them, especially later in the game.
Yeah. It probably stays at 0, and then it just restarts you where you at. You just go on about. I think that's what it does.
Because you really, really suck.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't think they said it has a game over screen to it, and no one has mentioned about a game over screen for it.
Yeah, I think someone did something like that where they like lost all their coins to see what would happen. Like GameSpot or something did it, and I didn't watch the video. Obviously, I don't know what happened, but there are videos out there that show you what happens. But
sure, yeah, I figured somebody would have posted something about it by now.
Yeah. Anybody been playing anything else entertaining besides Mario?
So I guess I'll go. Y'all know the Celestial Elephant. I've been playing on Switch. Getting sorry for everybody for my late post for that. It will be up, so you guys can check that review. Actually started Technomancer on Xbox One, and as good as it is, it's janky in a little bit of its combat. But its jankiness is due to one weapon over the other two. So when you use the bow, it kind of, you can't really control it. Where I think if you use the knife and gun, you have a better chance of attacking and hitting. And when you use the mace and shield, which is close combat, you have more being able to hit the enemies. But like the bow was kind of like, oh my goodness, this thing is like so weird.
I think with the bow in that game, because like I know a lot of people haven't heard of Technomancer. It's like this really it feels like Mass Effect on a budget is what it feels like. And I feel like with that bow combat, they wanted to be somewhat acrobatic, and like they just didn't have the budget to like do the animations or whatever.
Yeah,
so like it just feels janky. But
yeah, but it seems like a good C-rated game, like a good budget title. So I'm not mad at that. Played a little bit of Wolfenstein 2 on PS4. Kind of getting, still in the intro part, like BJ is out of the wheelchair at the point that I'm playing. The gunplay would be fine if you could actually know if you're being hit. Other than that, I think I'm waiting. I can't wait to get further along in the game, and not really caring about the racial tones or anything about it that they use. It's just like, oh, okay, you said the N-word. Oh, okay, you said Jew and all of this stuff. And for those who love animals, I will say this. There is a scene in the beginning that deals with BJ's past, and you really have a choice. You really don't have a choice on what you're going to do because something happens to you. But you do have to take an animal out. I won't say what animal it is, but you do have to take it out. And it's going to be up to you if you want to kill it or not, depending on where you're going to be hitting it at. So just be aware of that, because they don't show it, but you do hear it. And some people who like really care for animals might be affected by that if they're planning on playing Wolfenstein 2. But other than that, Gears of War 4, Halo 5, Fire Emblem Warriors, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and then about to jump back into Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age, and start working on that. That's my future plan. And finishing Halo 5, I'm halfway done with that.
Ed, has anybody ever told you try to play way too many games at the same time?
Everybody asks me on how do I have the time to play it.
Sometimes I want to play a bunch of stuff at once. It's hard to dedicate to one thing.
Ed just doesn't sleep. He just takes naps periodically, and
that is true.
It'll be like we'll be recording. Like Sundays are our busy recording day because we usually record Arsenal X and World 1-1, and then sometimes we record Pal Block, sometimes not, depending on if Jesse's available or not. And like Ed'll have to be at work at 6:00 in the morning, and it'll be like 1:30, and he'll be like, "No, I'm gonna go play some games before I go to bed." And it's like you have to be up in 3 hours. Why wouldn't you just go to bed now? He's like, "Meh, I'll take a nap later."
Yeah.
Or you can do it, right?
That's true. I'm like, dude, if I don't go to bed at like before midnight, I'm just gonna be dead the next day.
True. Yeah. Because I got the Evil Within too, and I was going to like, I need to start this, even though it's 1:30 in the morning. I just go to bed. Yeah.
How was Yono? Like, I played a little bit of that game, the Celestial Elephants.
It's really cool. It's more of a relaxing game.
I felt it was kind of kiddie, I guess.
Well, actually, the weird thing about it is kiddie, but you got to watch some of the language, because it says "damn" in it, and I'm like,
so I got that far.
yeah, and I'm just like, oh, they added the N in this one. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. So, like it, but it's a really cool game. Very chill. It's something, like if you get frustrated playing Cuphead, this is like a palate cleanser.
That's the spectrum, right?
Yeah.
The two. One thing that really, this is like such a small thing, but it still bugs me. Like, why does Nintendo let people make games that don't use the Pro Controller? Like, that's what kind of ticks me off about Yono. The Pro Controller doesn't work on it. Like, why not?
I think it's I think it's up to the indie developers on how they want to on what they want to incorporate, because don't forget they are on a budget compared to what a third party or even Nintendo or even a second party or something that's AA or AAA, where they could spend a lot of money incorporating that kind of mechanic. Indie developers don't really have that much time to incorporate that. I think they would have to push it back and probably have add more money to figure out how they'll incorporate it.
Plus, sure. I think a lot of indie games, like, there's a lot of smaller games that didn't have Pro Controller support when the Switch launched, and then 2 or 3 weeks later they would patch it in because that's when they had the time to do it.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
It's just the only one I know of that doesn't have it. And I did like a stream of Yono when it came out on Thursday, and it was like, I kind of freaked out because the Pro Controller didn't work, and I'm like, okay. And then I had to like pull the system off and pull the Joy-Cons off and all that. I'm just not used to it because it's like, even like Golf Story or like Stardew, like a lot of those other indie stuff, they work fine with it. This is just the one that didn't. It just kind of caught me off guard, I guess. Hopefully they patch it later. It's just if you play, like I play most everything on the Pro Controller. If I have it on the TV, it's just kind of like a burden. Because if you don't know that and you bought the game and you basically go to select the game, you're stuck in the game. You can't get out. You have to like pull your Switch off the handle and go to menu like that, because you just get stuck in the game, like if you're just holding the Pro Controller. So,
with me, like the Joy-Cons are fine. I am getting the Xenoblade Chronicles X controller. Xenoblade 2 controller. I keep saying Chronicles X. I'm getting the Xenoblade controller, Pro Controller, but I play everything pretty much with the Joy-Con and the grip. I'm like, and that feels good to me.
I just like to keep it on the system because I do, for like handheld versus TV and all that. I keep it in the charger whenever I play it on the TV, and just kind of like a convenience thing, I guess. What is the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 controller that you're getting?
It's the awesome.
It's amazing. Ed thinks it's ugly, but I think it's amazing. It's got pink grips, and it's got like these like light green markings on it, and it's I think it's the same like clear black casing, but they just have the pink handles and the X on the front, like the clear green X on the front.
In the last direct, it was on there, but yeah.
Yeah. The only reason why I find it in that manner not ugly, well, yeah, ugly, is because I want it white. It looks like the stuff that's on that controller don't represent the colors that's actually in Xenoblade. Like, I would love a white with a red X on it, or a blue X or something like that to match the colors of what Xenoblade 2 has. If you look at the box and stuff, there's not really that much pink or green in it. So it looks like Napoleon ice cream colors instead of what the colors are for like Xenoblade. Like it's like if you look at it, you'd be like, yeah, you kind of just switched the Splatoon controller and threw an X on it in a way.
Yeah, right. No, I just pulled it up and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't look. When I see that, I'm not like, Xenoblade controller. I keep forgetting that game comes out like this year. Like it's just been such an insane year for the Switch.
Yeah, me and Corey's getting the collector's item, and I'm paying mine off like next Friday.
Yeah, I paid off my Amazon store card so I could buy this collector's edition because like I have a lot of games pre-ordered and I'm trying to like I went through Amazon, like I told the story last week on how the GameStop guy was kind of like a, for lack of better terms, kind of a dick. So I canceled a lot of my pre-orders there because I don't like dealing with that guy because he's just rude, you know. And it's just like I went through Amazon and was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna get, this is what I'm gonna hold off on. And my birthday and Christmas and Hanukkah are all coming up, and so like my wife's been asking me what I want for those three things. I'm like, oh well, Rhyme is coming out like a week before my birthday, so I'll ask for that for my birthday. And you know, Batman Telltale game is going to be pretty cheap, so I'll ask her for that. And then, you know, my parents are already asking me what I want. I'm like, Xbox One X. No, I'm just kidding. But like I gave them a list of Switch games that I would like to have. So like I'm kind of balancing all of this right now, you know. So
I really cannot wait for Rhyme. I beat it on PS4 to do a review for it. But I want to play this game just in handheld with headphones. Like the soundtrack to Rhyme, I don't know if you played it, Trey, but if you think of getting it for a Switch, really play it with headphones. Like literally listen to the music because it is phenomenal. Like the soundtrack is. I actually contacted the creator of the music and just really told him, like, I'm like, thank you for the soundtrack. Not only did your music make this game, I think besides like with the music in Odyssey and Breath of the Wild and any other games, I told him, I'm like, you might have the best the best music for an indie game ever made for 2017. Like Rhyme is up there.
That makes me want to play it even more because I love video game soundtracks, and a lot of most indie games have like really great soundtracks, so makes me really excited to check it out.
Just so you guys know, Rhyme's getting delayed a week because they don't want it to come out on the same day as Skyrim, so they delayed it. They delayed it a week.
Oh, that's fine.
Which I know a lot of people are like really excited for Skyrim on Switch.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've talked to people who aren't, who bought their Switch just to play Skyrim. So,
yeah.
Well, I would buy Rhyme instead of Skyrim if it came out on the same day.
That's what I plan. I'm not planning to get Skyrim because I own it like on PS3 and only got like an hour of enjoyment out of it. I'm just like, no, this is not. No, if they would bring Witcher 3 to Switch, oh goodness, then yes, I would definitely buy Witcher 3
Dude, that game
for
would
Switch.
never like. I know like the possibility of AAAs on Switch is growing and growing, like third party stuff, but like, dude, The Witcher is so big. Like it would be bigger than what WWE is trying to put on Switch, you know.
But know what? But I'm fine if they could just make it digital. I would get it. If they made Witcher 3 just digital, I would download it. I would literally be like, yeah, I'm on Amazon getting the 256 or a 2 terabyte card or something, like an SD card, because I would love to have Witcher 3 on Switch.
Oh man, everybody knows this. The franchise I want on Switch the most is Tomb Raider. I really want Tomb Raider. Like, I don't care if it's a port of the 360 version. Like, I just want Tomb Raider.
Corey, don't do it. Don't make me happy. Don't don't give me that face, because I literally would be at GameStop pre-ordering both versions. If they did a 2-pack or just Rise of the Tomb Raider, I'm like, I need to pay $60 down right now. I need this. Yeah.
So
yeah, I played the first one on PS3. It's pretty cool. Like a PlayStation thing, so I played it through that.
I still think Rise of the Tomb Raider is the best game on Xbox One right now, hands down. So
because that's the only game I could think of in there, aside from ones that are on every other system.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Cuphead. They have that.
Yeah, I haven't played Cuphead yet though, so I still reserve the right to say Rise of the Tomb Raider is the best game on Xbox.
Sure. Well, I mean, they're completely different games.
Yeah, I do want to play Cuphead though. But
I agree with you, Corey. Rise is like the best.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, why don't we dive into some of these news bits before we get into our question block? There's a couple things. I kind of want to keep them short just because there's not really a whole lot to talk about. Well, there is, but we're saving it for Sunday's show because we have a bunch of question block questions we haven't gotten to. So the first bit of news bit is, I know Ed's going to have a lot to say about this. EA is in, quote, no rush to make more Switch games due to the financials of FIFA not doing so well on Switch. So
you guys play FIFA on Switch?
I did. I loved it. I thought it was great. But it has the modes that I like. So, I mean, it doesn't... I know that it was like this crappier version of the PS4 and Xbox One version. Like, there's no story mode. There's no like my player mode or whatever. But it's a solid portable version of FIFA. And I think, people were disappointed that it didn't give you everything. So.
Yeah.
And okay, so of course this is the normal EA stuff. I mean, they're gonna still put Fee out, I think, because that's the next one that's gonna come out from. EA's in a lot of big trouble anyway, so I'm not mad at them not putting no games out for Switch. What I am mad about though is that you didn't even send a lot of stores FIFA for Switch for it to even sell.
I know, I had to pre-order it. I didn't tell the story, but like outside of the pre-orders that GameStop got, they didn't get any extra copies of FIFA for Switch, and they said that like nobody was in there looking for it for Switch, and it was sad, because everybody wants the quote full version, and it's just like,
well, this is the bad thing. Didn't nobody buy it on any other system?
Well, I think a lot of people bought FIFA.
Oh no, I still got copies from the first at my job and other places.
Well, it sells a lot better in Europe and
than here.
Yeah, so
like, guess when FIFA 6, that new FIFA is not going to sell until next year, until next March. That's when somehow FIFA picks up. It don't even sell well during Christmas at times.
Yeah.
So having nobody really bought it for PS4, having nobody really bought it for Xbox One. These gold editions that come out for the other two systems, nobody haven't bought. So I think right now EA needs to actually worry about to see if Battlefront 2 is going to sell because of what they did to Visceral. You need to worry about if the future games that's going to come from your company is going to sell. Don't worry about Switch because everybody's going to be buying everything else on Switch and enjoying that.
The official story from Eurogamer on FIFA sales. FIFA 18 physical launch sales down 25% from last year. A lot of people are buying last year's version, it seems like, in Europe, just because it's essentially the same thing, and the servers are up for 3 years after, So the European sales chart, FIFA did sell the best in October, in September, followed by Destiny 2, Forza 3, GTA 5, NBA 2K. So I'm just basing this off the European equivalent to NPD. But I mean, in a region where FIFA should be selling the best and it's down 25%. And it's still coming out on 360 and PS3 over there too. So it's not like, that 25% can be contributed to, transferring consoles or whatever, not putting it out.
Right.
It's interesting because a lot of people are also moving to Pro Evolution, even though it doesn't have every major club or whatever. It's still,
Yeah, everybody said that one it plays better than FIFA.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm just like, well, we already seen what you presented at E3, so you don't have really nothing for Switch. Well, of course we're not getting Anthem. You're not giving us Need for Speed Payback. You're not putting Madden on it.
Need for Speed, like out of all of EA's properties that they're putting out, Need for Speed kind of surprised me because Switch doesn't really have a racing game besides Mario Kart. They're getting Gear Club.
Yeah, they have that Gear game.
That Gear Club looks good.
It looks pretty good. It looks like a solid sim racer that's not Forza, right? I mean, if you only have a Switch, like Gear Club looks pretty solid.
Surprised they didn't put Madden on there. I mean, Madden was on Wii U and DS when it came out, so it's like that should be the one to go to, I guess. I would think.
That's what me and my friend Brian were talking about last night. We were like, he's not a Nintendo fan like at all. Like we've talked about this hundreds of times on the show. Like he makes fun of Nintendo every time he gets, and he's like, the Switch is the best console I think I've ever bought. And he bought NBA 2K and FIFA on Switch, and he's buying the wrestling game on Switch because he's like, why wouldn't I buy it here? I can take it with me. I can play in bed. I can play on my 70-inch TV or whatever. Like he's like, why wouldn't I play it here? He's like, yeah, the graphics aren't as good, but it's so convenient. It's so convenient. And we were talking about Madden because we both haven't bought Madden since, I don't know, forever. Like we used to buy it every year like clockwork, and we haven't bought it forever. He's like, imagine if we could just play Madden on Switch, how much we would buy Madden again. And it's like, yeah, it's true. And it's like, it's not that like, Madden is such a good football game, but at the same time, it's like, we both are adults now. We both have lives outside of games. I do at least. But like, it's just like, if I could play Madden in handheld mode, if I could play my franchise mode while me and my wife are watching a show on Netflix or something, if I could just do little incremental things, and that's why I think our Switch is going to be a great RPG machine in the near future. I could grind out levels. It's the same thing with sports where I could grind out a game or two in my franchise. I don't have to play online. I think
play it as a real football game while you waiting during the halftime and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like
you can play it on Sunday while you're watching the NFL.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Like it's I don't know. Whatever. It's weird. Like we have a question, and I put it specifically here instead of in our question block because I think this is relevant, more relevant to the EA with Switch games. COD fan FF writes in a lot from Twitter. Writes in, do you think the EA stuff will affect Switch sales at all?
No.
I don't think it's going to affect Switch sales. I think, once more people get Switches in their hand and realize, the same thing that, we were just talking about where me and my friend bought 2K on Switch because it's convenient. Like, I think in the long run, if people start getting Switches as their quote-unquote handheld device to complement their PS4 or Xbox One, I think a lot of people are going to realize the convenience of the Switch and say, man, I wish this game was over here. Or at least, a lot of people I know double dipped on 2K and was like, okay, we're going to play on PS4, but I also want to play my character on Switch. So I think, if anything, EA is such a hard thing to tackle because they're not in trouble, right? They have games that sell well. They have properties that will make them money while they're trying to transition out of this, quote unquote single player thing into the games with service thing. They have Battlefront 2, they have Battlefield, they have sports, they have, presumably Anthem's going to do well for them. It's just, I think a lot of people are just mad because they're not doing, especially with the Star Wars stuff, they're not doing what people expect to see from Star Wars.
EA doesn't have no star power. EA is not important. Right now in this modern generation, EA is not important like it was back in the 16-bit days. Madden used to be a really big seller, and it's not Now it's not. Their sports games, it might do good during the holiday when they go on sale, but a lot of people are not talking about Madden. A lot of people are not talking about FIFA. People don't even know that NBA Live 18 came out.
Yeah. Madden sales this year are down 18% too.
And the thing with EA is that, okay, yeah, your loot box thing, the visceral closing, it's just like, what are you doing as a business? Because from the outside, everybody's seeing that you're destroying yourself as a business.
They're just they're in this weird transitional period that they need to have something, and they're just in this weird transitional period nobody really likes. And it's just hard from a business perspective to say, okay, we have all these IP and we have all these properties that would make sense in a single player setting, but it's the same thing it's the same problem everybody has that a lot of people don't want to admit because it's bad for marketing and stuff, where like games are, cheaper than ever as they sell, like $60. I remember buying Tony Hawk 3 for Nintendo 64 for $90. Games are $60, right? They're cheaper than ever to buy through inflation and whatever, but they cost more than ever to make because of 4K textures, because of animation, because we got to spec it for this PC, these consoles. And EA has just come out and said, look, we need to use Frostbite on everything because we can transfer assets, we can move things around easier. It's easier to adapt one system from this game to this system to another game, and we need money from these loot boxes that we're selling to fund the games that you're going to buy. And single player games don't do that.
This is the problem. You're marketing a game that's not interesting to nobody. Guess what? We want to see real life gameplay. You could talk about Frostbite all you want to, and the first thing that comes about Frostbite is, look what it did to Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah, I mean, they put that game, it went from a 5-year development or 4-year development cycle to a 18-month turnaround because they had to move all their assets to Frostbite. And it sucks because now look at Mass Effect. Mass Effect is one of my favorite franchises of all time, and now we're not going to get another one because of for better or worse, a decision that EA made to have all their games run on Frostbite.
And let's even go back to E3. You did a whole little thing for announcing EA and Star Wars. How you had all these studios working on everything. Yeah, you didn't show no gameplay. That was very weird. To showing some beta testing, or if that was it, on this year's E3. But you just hyped it last year. So what have you been doing as a company with this franchise, with this Frostbite engine, for the games that you want to bring out? As great as Anthem looks like, is that how it's going to look like in a real game when it comes out? Yeah. Because the thing about it is that you did this to Mass Effect Andromeda, where you showed us some pre-roll, and then you get the game, and it doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
So EA making a game for Nintendo, or they're not making games for Nintendo. A lot of people are not worried about that. Guess what? No. We're hyped to play Doom and Wolfenstein.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bethesda is taking over that role that EA is abandoning, right? They're giving us amazing single-player stories that play well, and, they're taking a lot of risks. They have their money makers, right, in Skyrim and Fallout, and those are their big heavy hitters. But then they're giving us cool experiments like Doom and Dishonored and Prey and Wolfenstein. Like, they're giving us these cool little experiments. Evil Within 2, it's such a niche product, and they're still putting it out sequel, which is good because, Bethesda had this thing lingering over them for a while too. Where with the Creators Club on PC and stuff. And I know we'll probably get more into this on Arsenal X, so I don't want to spend too much longer on this subject. But like, Bethesda's doing a good job of taking the risks and really seeing them pay off because they're delivering a quality product that people want to play, and capitalizing on their awesome marketing campaign with the Wolfenstein. But
Bethesda was able to get their products in a Nintendo Direct, and look at the results of everybody's reaction to see that Wolfenstein 2 was going to come to Switch.
I know.
Everybody that was the most thing talked about in that whole Direct for almost a week.
I know. I know.
When did we? If EA was able to do that with FIFA to have a continued discussion and get more of their games in a Nintendo Direct, and we were just all hyped for it, then EA would see better sales. But EA doesn't do marketing or think that way.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe things will change when Nintendo gets their online infrastructure up and they can sell loot boxes and stuff. Maybe it'll change then, but I mean, we'll just save that conversation for when it happens. So
Perhaps.
yeah.
No, you're don't do loot boxes.
Yeah, please don't do loot boxes. Oh my gosh, like I get it. Like loot boxes are there, and I've admittedly bought loot boxes for Overwatch and Destiny a couple times, but like it's just an epidemic now. But anyways, next story. These ones will be a little bit quicker, I think, hopefully. But gosh, we love not talking about EA, especially on 3 other shows that I edited this week. Where on all those other shows, we just had the same conversation. So, Super Mario Odyssey is the fastest selling Mario game in North America and Europe, and has increased sales in Japan by 4. Like they're 4 times the amount of Switches they've sold in previous weeks. So, congratulations to Nintendo on delivering another hit in Super Mario Odyssey. We talked a lot about it at the top of the show. Amazing game. Definitely going to be a lot of people's game of the year. Surprisingly, over Zelda. I still think Zelda is going to be my game of the year, but
it is for me.
It's great to see. Like it sold 2 million copies in 3 days. Like I'm still struggling to wrap my head around how Nintendo really turned the ship around from the negativity of the Wii U to the positivity of the Switch. Like
they just made the controller portable. That's what they did.
Yeah,
basically.
I mean that's basically what they did.
Yeah, you can play. They basically did what a Wii U's biggest strength was, and made it like where you don't have to be tethered to the system anymore, which is awesome. I mean, it's what I always wanted. Like that was always my favorite thing. Like one of my favorite pieces of tech I've talked about on my show before. It's the fucking Game Boy Player for the GameCube. Like I love it.
I was just talking about the Game Boy Player. I just put my GameCube in a box with all my GameCube stuff, and the Game Boy Player still attached to the bottom. And it took me like 20 minutes to find the disc, like the box with the disc in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that disc.
That was like my favorite piece of tech, because when it came out, like every single Game Boy game that had ever been made, you could play on your TV now. Yeah. It was so cool, and that was the last we saw of that. Like I always loved like playing portable games on the TV and being able to play it portable too. And like I don't know, like back like in when Nintendo started doing the connecting stuff with the Game Boy Advance and all that, like I was like, you know what? One of their future systems is going to be like where you can play the game on the TV and then you can detach it and then play it wherever and bring it back. Like I was thinking about, I didn't think about it being like the Switch with the dock and all that, but I felt like that was going to be the future of Nintendo, and they finally got there, and I love that. That's awesome. Like that's how it, that's like pure gaming bliss, I guess, for me, is that play wherever you want and you can put it on the TV like super easy, and I love it. I ran into a guy, I work at a bar, like I dressed as Super Mario, or as like a Super Mario Odyssey costume for Halloween. And some guy was like, he's like, I love the Switch. It's what people need right now. That's what he said. So I agree with him. It is. That you can take wherever and play wherever.
I mean, you can only stab so many guys or shoot so many guys so many times, and then you just go play Mario, and it's just like, oh man, I'm just gonna throw my hat and capture this flame and swim through this ocean to see if I can find any moons.
It's one of those. Yeah, I'll play for 15 minutes. How in the heck did the 2.5 hours just go?
Yeah, well, like that's how it was last night when I was playing Destiny. Like we got done with the raid, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna hook my Switch up to the TV or whatever. I'm like, I'm only gonna stay over here for like another hour. 3 hours went by. I'm like, holy crap! How did I not see this much time?
That literally is Breath of the Wild. You play for a good hour and didn't realize that you explored like maybe only 5% of the map, and then another 2.5 hours pass, and you did another maybe 10%, and you just keep finding stuff.
I mean,
Breath of the Wild, do very much, where you just get sucked in. You're like, oh wait, it's 5 a.m. What have I been doing?
Yeah. I put so much time into Breath of the Wild. I started a new profile because I wanted to start from the beginning again, but I didn't want to erase my old save. It's old save for when the Champions Ballad DLC comes out, and I just started again. I'm like, man, this game just opens up so awesome. Where you just go walk out of this cave, and it's like, here you go.
Like, yeah, do whatever.
Go do whatever you want.
And people, like I said, are still finding new things in that game.
It's like there's obviously a ramp that goes down to the right here, but you can go left if you want to. Wouldn't recommend it, but go on. Here's your stick.
The wall there. Like when I played, I'm just gonna go straight up the wall and fight those guys up there.
Yeah. Oh man, I love Zelda so much. All right, our next story. Speaking of Zelda. 2 Zelda bundles have been announced. The Zelda 2DS bundle and the Breath of the Wild Explorers Edition have been announced.
Yes.
Forgot about Zelda. Now that Mario is out, they're like, hey,
yeah,
a weird like green doorstop looking 2DS. Here, get it.
Yeah.
Funny, still making those.
I know. I actually just over the summer I replaced my 3DS with a new 2DS XL. And it's probably the best decision I ever made. I actually am charging my 3DS or my 2DS right now so I can play some Fire Emblem. Because I've got the itch to play Fire Emblem again. And like I like Fire Emblem Warriors enough, but like it's not really Fire Emblem. And it's just like I need something to scratch that Fire Emblem itch. And I've been trying to play through Awakening again.
Yes.
So
love that game.
Still think Fates is better. But Awakening is great too. Lucina is the best Fire Emblem character, but Fire Emblem Fates is a better game to me personally.
What about Echoes, Shadows of Valencia? Like, how does that compare?
I need to start that. I haven't got it. I got it, but I haven't started it yet.
I liked it. I didn't finish it. I liked it, but I don't really care for the dungeon crawling stuff.
Oh, I thought that part was cool. Where you run around and like run into fights and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like it wasn't what I was in the mood for. Like when I'm in the mood for Fire Emblem, that's not what I was in the mood for. I don't know. It's weird. I appreciate what they tried to do with it. It just maybe I'll revisit it next year or early next year or whatever after I get through all these ridiculous games and after I get through Xenoblade. But
take a while.
Yeah, I know. Gosh. Just don't remind me how long Xenoblade's going to take. Although I have put 230 hours into Zelda, so what am I?
Yeah, I was going to say, I never made it through Xenoblade 1 or Xenoblade X, but I'm so close. So
they're so good. I need to do the same for both games.
The first one of Xenoblades?
Yeah.
I played about 40 hours. Like, I have the Wii version, and I played like 40 hours, and it's weird because I got the 3DS version, and I got to about the exact same place, and I stopped at the exact same place in the game just because other things were happening. I was like, I should really get back to that. But
yeah, I was hoping to finish at least one of them before Xenoblade Chronicles 2 comes out. But I got really far at X, and I just got stuck. Like, it got really, really hard. Like, I think I was like almost at the end part. But it costs a lot to like buy new skills and all that, and I was just... And I put like probably 120 hours into it, and I kind of just hit a wall big time. I got stuck on a boss and couldn't afford to buy bigger scales and all that, so I just kind of faded away from it. But I really want to finish it before the new one comes out.
Yeah, I would like to, but I got to do all these Switch games. I got to finish Odyssey. I got to play Doom again. I got to at least try Skyrim. I promised people I would try Skyrim. I don't know.
Have you played any of the Elder Scrolls stuff?
I played Oblivion for about 6 hours, and I played about 2 hours of Skyrim, and I've restarted Skyrim like 4 or 5 times, and I just can't do it.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah.
Don't kick me off the show, but I bought Oblivion for cheap, and I tried really hard to like it, and I fucking hate that game so much. Like it feels like a broken piece of shit, to tell you the truth. Like I didn't like the combat felt really weird and broken, and I played it for like 10 hours one day, and I didn't feel like it did anything, and I'm like, this game is a piece of trash, and I ended up giving it away to my brother-in-law.
Trey,
I've hatred towards Elder Scrolls and all that ever since.
We have pizza, cupcakes, and drinks. You may join us. Join us.
I'm always afraid to say it against Skyrim, because I never actually played Skyrim, but
don't be.
When I read, it has the same problems that Oblivion did, so I'm like,
Well, it's that Bethesda open world engine, jank. It's just, I mean, Fallout has the same issues.
Yeah.
Like it's just that engine, you know. It's not like, I mean, it kind of is their fault for not fixing the engine, but it's not like the developer's fault that they have to work on this engine that they refuse to fix, you know. And I think games like Metal Gear and The Witcher and Horizon now, like, I think they see these games and we're like, oh crap, we're in real trouble if we don't fix our engine for the next game, you know. But
well, especially like Breath of the Wild, like that worked so well, you know, like they kind of really made them look bad in that area too. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm not really. I have no desire to get Skyrim for the Switch. I mean, I love my Switch, but I'm just gonna pass on that one because it's just, unless it gets really really cheap and I'll try it again. But yeah, Oblivion really killed me. Like I got so angry at that game.
Once again, we have pizza, cupcakes, and drinks.
Pizza.
Enjoy.
I really want pizza.
Like I said, I'm always afraid to trash it because some people like it, but I don't know.
Oh shoot! I trashed Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh my gosh, just yeah, that Rockstar article you wrote like a year ago was just like, it's probably like our highest viewed article, and like people start just like angry. I'm like, people are allowed to have their opinions. That's why we started Nerds Gone Rogue, was because like we want a place where people feel comfortable having their opinions. Like for me on the NGR proper is like, Matt and Moose both love Dark Souls and Bloodborne, and like I like Bloodborne, but I don't really care for Dark Souls just because like I feel the same way about Dark Souls that I do about Skyrim. It's just like, it's so open, and there's a lot of things that like I've seen on the internet where things just happen because the engine is broken or whatever, and like the combat's kind of weird, and I don't know. I just never really got in those games. But I appreciate their opinion, and you know, it's But
yes.
Oh boy. Okay, so the Zelda Explorers bundle comes with a map and a bunch of other things. It comes in a big cool box. I wonder if they just had a bunch of collector's edition boxes left over, and they're just like, we need to fill it with something.
Pretty much, yeah. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and buy this one.
I mean, they sold a lot of Breath of the Wild already, but they're like, we could always sell more, you know?
Plus, they need a big, fancy reminder that is like, Mario's not the only game of the year contender. You need another big box to go with that Mario bundle you just bought. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, don't forget. I always figured it's just like, don't forget about Zelda. It's cool. It's still there, you know?
Yeah. Zelda's amazing. Oh no, all I want to do is play Zelda. I still need to finish the Master Trials. I've gotten through 2 of the 3 sections, but
of the sword.
Yeah. I just haven't gone back to it since Mario came out. I started like a week before Mario came out, and I was like, I can get this done. No, it's too hard.
Yeah, it's hard. I couldn't finish it either.
But okay, we're going to get into our question block. This is where you can email us at nintendopowblock@gmail.com. Look for our Facebook comic thread on a lot of our Facebook groups, or tweet at us at NGR Radio Podcast to leave a question. Our first question comes from Dylan Vanderwerker. Shout out to Solar Friends YouTube page. They do a lot of cool Let's Plays and stuff. He says, thoughts on the new Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon Rainbow Rocket. I don't really know what that means because I haven't played Pokemon in a while, but
it's well, I looked into the article that you guys sent me, and it's basically bringing back the Team Rocket from like Red and Blue is what it looks like, and Giovanni, like that gangster dude, he's coming back as well. It also looks like they're bringing back a lot of legendaries that you can catch. I mean, this is like their last. I mean, it's like the last 3DS Pokemon, right? So they're just like. Have all of it, you know, like I saw like Rashiram and like Seacrom and all that were in there from like Black and White, and like the dinosaur and the giant fish thing from Sapphire and Ruby were like catchable. Like it looks like it looks like they're just like, hey, this is our big last hurrah, so we're just gonna do a bunch of crazy shit and bring back the original villains. So that's cool. I never finished Sun and Moon, so I'm kind of like not really that quick to buy the new one, but this having Team Rocket on there makes it a little more interesting to me, I guess. You know, I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah, anything that has anything to do with Red and Blue specifically, I'll be like, I might check it out. I don't know yet. It's that weird situation where like I wish it was on Switch. It's that situation.
Yeah, well, give it a couple years, right? I mean, from the direct where the guy was just at the desk and he's like, oh yeah, we'll start working on it now. So
yeah.
you know,
what?
get it 2020.
Yeah. Oh man, I think Nintendo's going to try everything in their power to get it on Switch next holiday, though. Even if they have to like hire people for the Pokemon Company to do that.
I'd be really impressed if they do, but I would, if I was betting on it, I would guess 2019, probably 2019 at least. You know,
Yeah, that'd be a big year too, because honestly, Metroid Prime 4 will probably be 2019. So like,
yeah,
if you get
like isn't that one of your? I think that was one of your questions too. It was like, what's going on next year? Because I'm wondering that too, because this year was such a solid year that it's like, what do we have for 2018?
Well, like they say, some of their lower tier games that you didn't expect to get Switch release, I think they're getting that. I think they've done their research and development, so I think they got the gameplay and the graphics and what they want, and I think they'll start rolling that out for next year, showcasing it. So I think there's going to be, me and Corey's been talking about what's the next Nintendo Direct, and I think there's hopefully they hint at some of those games for next year, but if not, we'll see what's going to come in spring for those games.
Yeah, I like for 2019, I think, you know, even if they skip a year of Pokemon or port something or do virtual console of some sort, like I think 2019, if they really want to hit that holiday and they're like, okay, we have Pokemon, Metroid Prime, and like maybe one other solid title, maybe we'll get Bayonetta 3 by then.
Oh, please do.
But our next question comes from Megan Green. It's kind of already on we're already on the topic. Now that 2017 is almost over in terms of gaming on Switch, besides Xenoblade Chronicles 2, of course, do you think Nintendo can carry their momentum into 2018? Do you think we'll get more Game of the Year contenders like Zelda and Mario in one year?
Yes.
If Metroid Prime 4 comes out, right?
Yeah. Plus, like, I think like they've already confirmed Fire Emblem's coming out next year, like a proper Fire Emblem, and that to me is always a Game of the Year. It's always in the discussion, at least.
Sure.
I think Nintendo will. I don't think those games will be it. I think Nintendo probably has something and is looking for another game that's going to change the industry, that's going to change the genre. I mean, if they could give that to us again for 2018, Microsoft and Sony need to be worried for me personally, and I think they can give us a Game of the Year contender for it, because after the Xbox One X and PUBG, okay, Crackdown 3, really? Is that strong enough for next year? I don't think so.
I mean, they've got Sea of Thieves and State of Decay still, too.
Well,
but,
yeah.
I mean, not like those are big sellers, but those are, I would put like State of Decay and Sea of Thieves on a level where like, okay, Nintendo next year, trying to hype us up for some Q1, Q2 games. I think, you know, it would be comparable to like Yoshi and Kirby, the Kirby game coming out next spring.
We do have. I forgot about those.
So, like, I have a list.
Feel like they always have something under their hat, you know, like whenever they do their next Direct, which will probably be at the beginning of next year, is what I would guess, like maybe like February or something, because they have to show. I'm sure they have stuff they've been working on and they haven't told us about. I don't know what it is. Like maybe there's some new IPs. I know there was that interview with Koizumi, like that came out where he said that they had stuff that they haven't unveiled yet. So
yeah,
you know, they're very always keep their cards to their chest and all that. And what I always liked about Nintendo is they're like, oh, here's this new game and it'll be out in like 2 months or whatever. Yeah. It's not like, where like a lot of the PlayStation stuff or Xbox where it's like, hey, there's this new game and it'll be out I don't know, maybe 3 years. We'll show it every E3 for a while and then
like how many more times do we have to see God of War before it's out, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
and we still got to. I still feel like the 3DS is still strong, so they could probably have a Game of the Year contender that will work well, because Link Between Worlds to Game of the Year, and that be out consoles, so that's kind of huge.
Yeah.
Speaking of my love for Dragon Quest, we still have Dragon Quest 11 hasn't come out yet.
Oh, and I heard that game is so wonderful.
I have a list of games for Switch that are coming out next year. At least, you know, if not confirmed, they're still rumored. Like, we have The Lost Sphere from Square. We have Yoshi for Nintendo Switch. We have Fire Emblem for Nintendo Switch. We have Kirby Star Allies. We have a Project Octopath Traveler.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, I can't believe I forgot that one. That's like my game of the year for next year.
I know that game is so
Yeah.
good. Like the demo was so good. It's already like,
Yes.
2018 game of the year right there.
People are still playing it.
I know.
It's so good. Like I'm a huge old school RPG guy. Like Final Fantasy VI is like my favorite Final Fantasy, and that reminded me a lot of it, like the way the characters were designed and all that. But it looks so good, and it's voice acted, and like the story's great. And
I feel like they improved the battle system of Bravely Default, and it just worked so well with this game.
Yeah. Oh no, it looks great. Like I'm very excited to play that. So
Yeah.
forgot about next year.
We also have Wolfenstein 2 still coming to Switch next year. Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 still rumored to be ported over here. Monster Hunter Double Cross rumored to be ported, and Dragon Quest 11 rumored to be localized next year for Switch.
And we don't even know what's for fall and holiday yet. So Nintendo got some goodies in their bag. And heck, well, maybe we might get the new next handheld at E3 next year. Who knows?
Speaking of next fall, a friend of mine, Daniel Rains, wrote in. What do you think about the rumors of the new Donkey Kong for Switch? He actually has two questions, so we'll answer that one first. I would like to see Donkey Kong 2D platformer for Switch, honestly. Like I wouldn't mind Tropical Freeze 2 or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think it would just be Tropical Freeze again for like the Wii U, like do a deluxe version, or would it be like Donkey Kong Country Returns 3? Do you think retro, or do you think the Metroid guys are working on it, or I know that they haven't done anything for a long time.
I think Donkey Kong's being done by a quote-unquote B-tier studio from Nintendo, and I think Retro's going to show their new IP at E3 next year.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
After like the past two E3s, and I haven't seen anything. They must be working on something.
I think they been getting things ready, because I think after Tropical Freeze they took a break and we're trying to focus, get their game right.
They're building a new HD engine that is running off of the Metroid engine, like the Metroid Prime engine. So my big thing is I think they're gonna make a first person shooter exclusive to Switch, is what I'm thinking. Mean, not like a first person shooter in the sense of like Halo or anything, but I think it's gonna be an exploratory kind of thing, kind of like Metroid Prime, but not as Metroid-y, I guess you would say.
Well, I think they probably been going to Japan and getting approval about stuff, and
I'm sure.
I think that's probably been taking time, because this is an American studio, working for a Japanese company. As for Donkey Kong, I think they're ready to return to the 64, the 3D world. But who
wants to collect 47 different colors of bananas?
Who's gonna make it? We don't know yet. That's the thing about it. I say if they go back to 2D, I literally won't wait for it to touch it. I won't wait for it to touch Donkey Kong game.
But those were the best ones, actually. Collecting all those weird, all the purple colored coins in Odyssey actually did kind of remind me a little bit of collecting 100 bananas with each character in Donkey Kong 64. Not in a good way, but yeah, I disagree. I don't think that they should return to the 3D Donkey Kong.
Well,
returns in Tropical Freeze were so good.
Well,
Freeze did so well for like an early Wii U game, and it's a great game. Like I played the crap. It's really good, and yeah.
But they're probably want to explore to see what they can do with it, because it's been. I mean, Donkey Kong being as a 3D game has only had one game made out of it. Everything else has been 2D or has been arcade style. So they probably want to try to see if they can capture an open world game with Donkey Kong. We don't know what it's going to be. We don't know who's working on it. Maybe it might be a new young team that's making that game, and they probably have ideas for it. We just don't know yet, and who knows? They might even hire some old Rare people to make something like that. It is Nintendo, and they will try to. They would try to incorporate new ideas. Yeah, Federation Force didn't work, but at least they tried something.
No, they tried at the wrong time though for that one. I mean, I did like that game, but they should have like done Samus Returns first and then do Federation Force, and people would have been a little bit more accepting of it, instead of just regular Metroid.
I think the thing about it with the way they did it was fine. I think because Mercury Steam was forgotten after that Castlevania game, and they probably had a lot to prove getting that game ready. And for Nintendo to take a developer who a lot of people just really wrote off and thought that, because I thought Mercury Steam closed after the Castlevania game, that Castlevania 2. To go with Mercury Steam to give us one of the best Metroid games since Metroid Prime, it worked for them. So who knows what Nintendo is willing to do with another company to make a 3D version of Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong 64 2, Game of the Year 2018.
And you never know. It may just be like that. Maybe they look at NAC 2 and made it better. Who knows?
Donkey Kong NAC 2.
Yeah.
Or better yet, still the new Super Mario World and do all 4 players.
Yeah.
Diddy, Donkey,
I wonder if they would try something like Mario 3D World with Donkey Kong.
Like what?
Like Mario 3D World with Donkey Kong?
Yeah.
Just have that kind of half open, like get from point A to point B, but there's a bunch of stuff. I think that would work really well for Donkey Kong also. But I just love Mario 3D World, and I would do anything for more. I don't care if it's Mario or not.
Sure. I mean, they could always re-release that one too. I know people who want them to, who have Switches but didn't get Wii U's, really want to get that re-released as a deluxe edition or whatever.
That game is just so perfect that I think Super Mario 3D World just deserves a 10. Like, to me personally, it's one of the best games of all time.
Did you ever beat like all the levels? Like, I got all the way to the very end, those crazy hard ones. And
not yet, because I had to move around and play some other games. Nintendo was just doing like great titles at the time. I'm just like, I can't finish this game, but I am gonna return it to it. I am going to finish it because I was getting everything. I was trying to 100% that game on. I would not move to the next world till I got everything in that world, in that land.
It gets really hard at the end there, so it could end friendships, like if you're playing 2-player or 4-player or whatever.
Yeah, I play a single player. Don't nobody play with me. Do not jump in the game with me. I would get upset. Be like, no, you are ruining my game time.
Sure.
Whoa.
What else do you get?
Sorry, I was just reading this article. There's breaking news. There's a rumor that Game Informer has been at Rocksteady, and they're going to reveal the Superman game on their cover and will be coming to all 3 major platforms.
Superman game?
Yeah.
Like a Superman 64 Deluxe Edition?
I hope so. That'd be awesome. Oh, man, I hope they have Kryptonite Fog.
Yeah, right?
Jeez.
Or those... flying through those rings was always really fun.
Yeah,
I had
too.
Oh, goodness.
Jeez. All right, we're going to move on to the last question. Sorry, that was pretty intriguing.
Superman game, though? I mean, yeah.
I don't like Superman, but that's interesting that they're sticking with the superhero and it's not Batman.
Oh, like you're saying Rocksteady's going to do it?
Yeah.
Probably?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. I think the best Superman game ever made was like the Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably Superman.
There was a arcade Superman, a 2-player one that I remember that was good.
There was. Well, there's the Death and Return and the Death and Return of Superman on Super Nintendo. I thought was pretty cool. Like if you reading comics in the 90s, which I was. I have the cartridge of that, but I like playing that game. That was fun. You get to play as like Superboy and Steel and Eradicator and all those other different Supermans from that time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or Super, whatever.
The second question from this original question was, what game or franchise do you want most on Switch?
We always talk about this.
I know,
we
we
mention
do.
this.
We do. I want everything.
Trey, we're gonna let you answer this one because me and Corey, Guys, check past episodes. We have answered this to the death.
Yeah,
So,
about
Trey,
probably about the last half hour of every episode the last 4 months. Just go ahead and listen to.
I mean, I'd like Yakuza on there. That's what I'd like. I love those.
I thought so too, but it's such a strong game on Sony's platform. But
Yeah, but I mean, Did you know that that Yakuza 1 and 2 HD versions were on Wii U in Japan?
yes, and I'm so mad and jealous.
Oh,
Nintendo.
really?
So it is possible. Like they could do Kiwami or whatever the next one's going to be called.
Okay,
But
now I love you. Okay, now I love you, and I want you to marry me. Yes, bring
is.
those games.
There it is.
But no, yeah, I'd love to see the HD version of Yakuza and Yakuza 2, and Yakuza 0 and 6. You know, put those on there too. Like I would those and those because those are like the reason that I bought a PS4 because I love those games.
Yes, and I think those would be if they never brought them to Switch but to Japan, I think those would probably be more imported than any other game.
Oh sure, yeah, because it's region free, so you could totally do it. You got to learn Japanese, but if they had the option on there, it'd be really nice. But yeah, I'd like to see stuff like that. I mean, it would be cool if there was some sort of Star Wars thing on there. Like I don't know how good the that new Battlefront game will be, but it would be nice to see a Star Wars game on there that's not like a Lego one. Like I wouldn't mind playing that on Switch.
Wasn't that Star Wars one that came on Wii? Wasn't that a good one that people said?
What,
Which one?
Force Unleashed?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know if the Wii version was good. I liked the 360 version.
I like the Wii version. Like I didn't play the second one, but I really liked the first one on Wii. The first Unleashed. They're actually different because I played both of them, PS3 one and one, and they're different. But the Wii one worked pretty good, like for the motion control. Like I had a lot of fun with it. I played through it and got all the multiple endings and all that, and it had a really cool fighting game on there too, that wasn't in the other versions.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So that was like a Street Fighter-ish fighting game that you can do on there. But yeah, it was fun. But that was a long time ago. Apparently, the second one had like a Smash Brothers game on there, but I never played that one.
The Wii version?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Unleashed 2 had like a Smash Brothers game as an extra, like a multiplayer fighter as well. That was more like Smash Brothers. So
That'd be cool. A Star Wars Smash game. That'd be cool.
I'd like to see. I mean, I guess there's not really that many Star Wars games aside from like Battlefront, but I miss stuff like Rogue Squadron and like or like the Super Star Wars games I really liked a lot on Super Nintendo. So like, I miss stuff like that.
What was the racing pod one on PS1?
Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. I have it for Dreamcast.
Because there was like a Mario Kart type one.
Yeah.
But there was also Episode 1 Racer, which is on 64, which is actually a really good game. I have that cartridge. It's pretty rad.
Yeah, I would like to see an HD version of that come to Switch, like that game we made.
Yeah, where they're going to return to an Episode 1 game.
Yeah.
Making money on the non-prequels.
I don't know. There's a rumor that Last Jedi is going to have pod racing in it. So,
well, I mean, it has Korgs in it, so who knows? I mean, that.
A Porg pod racer, please. Can you just get like 5 Porgs trying to operate a pod racer?
Oh wow, that'd be so funny.
Yeah, right.
It'd be like that scene in Toy Story where Buzz and Woody are trying to drive the truck, and like Slinky is driving, and like they don't know, or they're trying to save Woody, and Buzz and Slinky are driving the truck trying to chase down Woody. It'd be like that, but with Porgs. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of older games, our last question comes from Mohammed Malik. He's pretty much asking when do you think Virtual Console will come to Switch, and that he loves our shows.
Never. I mean, but at this rate, I don't know. I always figured because they did say that the NES Classic and the Super Nintendo Classic were forms of Virtual Console. So
yeah. I think they're going to probably roll it out in spring. So I'm going to go with April.
I think
they're going to roll it out.
I think they're going to roll it out when they roll out their paid subscription program. And then they want to, I think, whatever their service is, like the NES, they already told us about those NES games. Like, I don't know. I wonder what it's going to be like. I would rather just buy the games and just have them forever. But if it's going to be like a Netflix service, kind of like Xbox Game Pass or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like for me, like Xbox Game Pass works for me because like I don't have the attachment to Xbox like I do Nintendo stuff.
Sure.
But if I could just buy the Nintendo games and have them stored on my system and just play them whenever I wanted, like I would buy them again. You know, I know they're trying to set up a system where, you know, maybe it would be similar to the Wii to Wii U, whatever, where you just get a discount or whatever. But
Yeah.
And I wonder when Reggie said they got more in store, something that you wouldn't expect. I wonder what that is. So we'll probably get a official Nintendo Direct for it for next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Direct probably come late December, early January, probably.
I think it depends. I mean, like that. I mean, they just kind of come out whenever they. I don't know. I guess I haven't seen a pattern to it, or I guess I haven't really looked either. But I expect to see one early next year sometime because it's not really. We don't really know what else is coming around. You know.
Yeah. Well, they I guess now like they do a direct for a particular game. Those are the random ones, but you know we always get a spring one. I think now we're getting like the indie reels with Dan Baker. Of course we got E3, and then you know they'll sometimes roll a fall one out between September or October. And then they normally do another one for a particular game like in the fall. So Xenoblade might get one, but they'll probably roll one out for what they'll do for next year. So we normally probably get like 6 to 8 directs per year.
I think like the next Direct. Sorry, Ed, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
I was just gonna say like the next Direct, I think will come either late November, early December, and it's gonna be all about Xenoblade and the Zelda DLC, like the release date for the Zelda DLC. And then at the end of the Direct, they'll go through and be like, here's what we have planned in store for early next year. And there'll be teases. And then, you know, maybe we'll get one in January for the spring release dates, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they did a Xenoblade 2 one, like just focused on that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe with a little bit of well, I guess if it's just one, it'll just be that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we'll see one before the end of the year. I mean, we have to see something about the DLC, right?
Yeah.
See, so maybe they will do a little thing for that, but you can never really tell with them. They're very, you know.
Don't worry. As soon as the show publishes, or as soon as we're done recording, there'll be a notification on Twitter or Facebook that says Nintendo Direct on blah blah Monday for whatever, you know.
Yeah, that always happens to me and Corey. We'll be like, dang it, Dan, that's a Nintendo Direct, and we just got done.
Yeah, it's the curse of the podcast, is what I call it. Like where it just happens like right after you're done recording. It's like, wait, what? I didn't know.
Are they? I think they moved it to Wednesdays now for the Direct. Has it been like on Wednesdays now? They've been doing a lot of Directs?
They're all over the place. I mean, I think they're like anywhere between Tuesday and Thursdays.
Yeah, and they can be like 10 in the morning or like 2 in the afternoon, or I feel like it changes depending on whatever, you know.
Because that Animal Crossing one was what, on a Tuesday? So
I think so.
I thought it was Wednesday.
Was it?
Or no, was it?
Yeah, it was a Wednesday.
It was Tuesday. You're right. It was the Tuesday when they did it.
Yeah, it was Tuesday because we recorded on Monday and said we would talk about the Animal Crossing stuff on Friday because our show posted right after the Animal Crossing stuff. So we were like, okay, we'll talk about the Animal Crossing stuff on Friday. So
yeah.
So
they did like a reaction video thing to it on Tuesday. One of my co-hosts was in Chicago, so we did that. But yeah.
Well, that's all of our questions. Remember, you can email the show at nintendopowerblock@gmail.com. Send us your questions for us to answer. We usually like to stack them up and then read them all at once. So, maybe we'll do one in a week or two, another question block, whatever. But Trey, thank you so much for joining us. Why don't you remind everybody where they can find you?
It's a pleasure to be on your show, and thank you very much for having me again. It was nice to come out, and hope I didn't rant too much about my Nintendo love and all that, but sometimes I get a little carried away.
You know what? This has been one of our shortest shows in a while.
Exactly.
So
yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah, that like one thing can end up being like even like one news story can be an hour, like depending on what how you talk about it. But yeah, I'm on NintenDomain podcast. I also have a podcast with my girlfriend called the Honey Darling Show, where we talk about TV and movie stuff. We just did an episode about the last 3 episodes of Star Trek Discovery, so you can find that. And we have a Blade Runner one coming up soon. And you can find all of this at NintenDomainPodcast.com. There's links to that show and the Nintendo show. And you can find me on YouTube, youtube.com/FingMater, and you can find me on Twitch, Twitch TV/NintendoMain Podcast. And you can email me at NintendoMainPodcast@gmail.com. Pretty much just search for NintendoMain Podcast and you'll find everything on Google. That's pretty much it. But yeah.
It's pretty much the easiest way to do it. Google. Find this. So, Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at ThatRetroCode. You can hear my podcast, Optional Opinion, on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play. I'm getting ready to do an episode of Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat, talk about the history of those two games and how they are right now. So you can check that out. You can also listen to Arsenal X and Nintendo Power Block here on NGR Radio. You can also check out The Moment at ScrummageFrost.com, how I talk about old video games and how they apply to my life. And check out Let's Learn on Twitch at The Lyrical One, where I teach about genres and games, so you guys can learn from that. Yes. Nice. And World 1 podcast also in NGR Radio.
Yes. There's so much. Yes. So much.
Oh, and we're still trying to plan the pod and play, everybody.
I know. I know. I just got the whole setup back, so we are good to go whenever.
Yes.
But you can find me at CoreyandHD on Instagram and Twitch, CoreyandUHD on Twitter. You can find me on a number of shows on the Nerds Gone Rogue Network, Nerds Gone Rogue, World 1-1, all this stuff, Power Block, Arsenal X, not Nerds Gone Platinum. It's PlayStation dorks over there. Just do whatever they want.
I was just on the episode.
I know you were. I just edited it today. But yeah, find everything at ngrradio.com. Like, subscribe, and share to our YouTube page. If you're whatever podcast service you're listening to us on, rate us, comment, helps with discoverability, all that good stuff. Trey, thanks again so much for joining us. And until next time, we love you.
Bye, everybody. Woohoo!
Thanks for listening. Stuff make it sound better.
Yeah, I used to do that until we started doing
until you started doing like 5 podcasts, right?
How many do we have now, Ed? Like not including our personal ones, just
without our personal ones, we have
let's see, we got Nerds Gone Platinum,
Nerds Gone Platinum,
Power Block,
Gone Rogue, Power Block,
X.
Arsenal X, and World 1-1. So we have 5.
Oh, okay.
And then like we partner with a couple people to promote their stuff. So we have like the Brew Review and
Madden NFL Flats.
You know, Fathers of the Grind. We're trying to do some more stuff with them, and
cool.
It's wild.
Yeah.
No, I haven't really. I guess I've never really guessed on anybody else's podcast. We're still fairly new to it, I guess. But yeah, I just wanted to reach out to the community and see what I could find. You know. Try to get some people on, and you guys. I'd like to have you guys on next week if you're available.
What day?
We normally record on Wednesday. Is that like a bad day? But we could. I mean, I'm fairly flexible. If we wanted to move it to an earlier time or something.
Well, I know Corey can't do Wednesdays. I could do Wednesdays. I have no problem.
I can try to alter my schedule next week just because like Wednesday is usually like Destiny raid night for my clan, but like there's no reason to do anything anymore. So like,
right.
I mean, last night I went over to Brian's house and we did one raid because I still need the boots for my warlock, even though I've run the raid like 30 times already, and I can't get the boots. another boot story because I couldn't get him in Iron Banner either. And after we raided, we tried to get a second raid going, but a lot of people just got off it. So I played Mario Odyssey for 4 hours. So it's just like,
Yeah,
that's
what you should be doing. Yeah. I have not played Destiny, but I would rather play Mario Odyssey.
Yeah,
it's not really I'm not really into those types of games, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I love Destiny. Just I like it as like a social thing, but like I told Ed and I posted in our Facebook group earlier today, like I've put probably 120 hours into Destiny already, and it's like probably not even going to be in my game of the year conversation.
We probably got to wait for whatever like the new update is or whatever, right? Isn't that pretty much how that works? Like whatever DLC they add to it to make it interesting again.
We'll see.
Because I finished the main game and put it away. It's in the box. I was just like, yep, I'm done with this.
I heard that's like the tutorial, though, is the main game. And then you get into the real stuff after that.
I mean, that's pretty much it.
Pretty much, yeah.
But, I mean, like, I get it. That game is not for everybody.
I'm just not a huge fan of playing online. Like, I'm more of a single player guy.
Well, yeah. I did most of the game single player. And like the only two people that I play with is Corey and Jesse, and I think we did that for 2 missions, and that was it. And we just were so tired that we all went to bed.
Well, you and I recorded like 9 or 10 things that day, and had another day of recording because Ed came and visited me probably 2 months, a month and a half ago now.
Yeah,
and we decided to do a bunch of like live recordings like together, and we did like the Super Nintendo unboxing, we did Super Nintendo like Star Fox 2 Let's Play together and stuff, and it was like 2:00 in the morning and we were just like dead tired from shooting stuff all day.
Yeah.
That was a good time though.
So fun. Can't wait till next year. It's gonna be so fun.
Yeah, I think I posted in the Facebook group today so far my game, like my top 5 or 6 games this year so far, and I mean I still need to play AC and Wolfenstein, but I don't know if those would be like,
I started Wolfenstein.
You don't like it?
It's not that I don't like it. I think it just feels quite unfair.
It's too hard.
Not as in too hard, but there's no indicator. I
heard there's a lot of UI issues and like a lot of like they don't tell you if you're getting hit and they don't tell you when a grenade's coming in. Like simple things that a lot of modern shooters do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like when you get hit, like the screen doesn't turn red or shake or anything.
Right, there's no sound effects, so you're shooting and nothing is responding to your body. When you get health packs, because they start you off at 50, because I'm playing on normal, if you are over 50, it actually starts counting down and you go back to 50. So they have multiple health packs laying around, and you can pick them up, but then you go right back to 50. And then if they hit you, your whole 50 is gone, and that's it.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I was watching Giant Bomb's Quick Look the other day on Wolfenstein 2, and they said, like, the whole thing is you need to dual wield, you need to keep moving, and you need to find armor packs, not health packs, because armor doesn't go down, but your health does. So I don't know. They've made a lot of interesting decisions, but
yeah,
I'm going to play it on super easy and just run through the story.
I'm interested to see how it looks on the Switch because it looks pretty big from what I've seen. Like not like you can't necessarily handle that, but I don't know.
I mean, the Doom they just released the storage required for Doom if you're downloading it, and it's only 13.4 gigs.
Oh, did they? Because I checked on and it wasn't on there. Like it showed it available on the shop, but not the
Yeah, I like this was just posted on Nintendo Life about 3 minutes ago.
Okay, yeah, because I've been checking. Like I checked last night, and is it for preload too, or they probably haven't done that yet?
I don't know.
No, not yet.
Skyrim's available for preload already.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Doom is 13.4 gigs for the single player and 9 gigs for the multiplayer.
Okay, that's not, I thought it was going to be like 30 gigs.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Like 30 gigs for the multiplayer, like alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
And they're
I'm super interested to see how these two games run on Switch.
and I'm pretty much just going. I think when I
And
buy Doom, I'm just going to pretty much just have the single player because I'm like
Yeah,
I
I'm not
really
gonna
don't
go
need
out of
the
my way to download
multiplayer.
yeah, I have. I mean, I have Doom for PS4. I played through most of it, but I never did the multiplayer because I don't have fucking PlayStation Plus, and I don't really care to get it. So it's like I never did that.
Yeah, I have it for one. And I just got to beat the game. It kind of gets very repetitive. Like it loses spark. Like after the second level, I'm just like, okay, if this is all what this is, I get it, and I don't. I like you guys don't really do anything too interesting, but I'm gonna get it for Switch because I want more games, third-party games to come to Switch.
I thought it was super interesting. I mean, I don't really like modern first-person shooters, so it basically scratched the itch that I wanted, because it was more like the old school stuff.
I think it was. I think because Titanfall 2 has spoiled me because it like in that game the guns feel good and things are changing. So there's different mechanics. The story is kind of funny, but it's like really cool. And I think working with the Titan just mixes things up. Like in a game where you gotta constantly move, all the guns in that game are useful. So moving, jumping around, wall jumping, sniping, like all of that feels good, and it's a nice balance and flow to it. So you don't really have to study much unless you want to just be like an action hero and do some very choreographed fights, with your movement. And I think something like Wolfenstein 2 and like Doom, it's just like you understand it, but you're not doing more. It's just like you duck and hide or you die.
Well, I mean, that's what that game is, though. I mean, that's what they were trying to do, was to capture
Yeah.
the spirit of Doom, which didn't even have a jump button in the original PC game. So I kind of like that they were going back to that, because I got tired of games where you just hide in a corner and get all your life back, and it's all I don't know, like Call of Duty was bored the fuck out of me. So it's just like it was nice to see something like that come back, and I liked. I don't know. I liked it. I didn't really find much of it boring. And I mean, I like that you could find the old levels too from the original Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
like
it was just
people.
like a really good change of pace for a first-person shooter, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Like I don't play a lot of those games because, like I said, a lot of them bore me, I guess. But I love the Doom one because I was a huge Doom fan when I was a kid. And it's really brought it back nicely, and I'm excited to be able to play it on the go. So
Yeah.
it'll be cool, and it looks fine from what I've seen. I mean, I don't mind it being 30 frames and all that, but I wish it wasn't $60 because like when I bought Doom, I bought it for $20 when it was on sale at GameStop for PS4. So it's like, yeah, gotta double dip it on it, I guess. And I'm doing it for the same reason, to support third-party games and because I love Doom and I want it, I want it to be portable.
Yeah.
I mean, I just Doom 1 and 2 for Game Boy Advance just for the fuck of it. So
Yeah.
I
Doom Advance. What a crazy game that was.
That's okay. I got this. One of my co-hosts, he was just at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, and he got me Doom for Super Nintendo and 32X while he was there. So I got the red cartridge, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. So
I
Doom stuff.
I think to me, I hope it sells at least 500,000 copies or at least 200,000 copies for Doom.
I think for it to be successful, it needs to sell. Like, I think, a lot of people, like a lot of the hardcore Switch owners are going to buy it just because they want third-party games on Switch.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the portability adds a really good factor. Like, that game would be awesome just to take on the go. I wouldn't be, like, I don't think it's going to sell this many, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it sold close to 1 million just because Doom is so good and there's so many Switches out there. And
it's I mean, yeah. I mean, all three of us are planning on getting it, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
a sign,
yeah.
right? That's I don't know.
Yeah.
And like 3 of my co-hosts for my podcast, they're all getting it as well. So it's like,
Yeah, there's 7 right there.
lot of people who aren't getting,
We're changing the world one podcast at a time.
Well, it's
fine if it does it. All of us are. I don't know.
it's kind of interesting because I kind of want to see how people rush out to get Call of Duty tomorrow, and how many people rush out to get Doom.
Oh, that comes out tomorrow, doesn't it? Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Didn't even know there was a new one coming out.
yeah. World War II is out tomorrow, so yeah, we just actually got our copies in for work. So I kind of want to see how that does, and because I don't know if reviews are out yet. I don't know if reviews have dropped or anything. But I kind of just want to see, like, if you guys are getting a Call of Duty, how many of you Switch owners are going out to get Doom, or how many of who own Doom but still got a Switch going to double dip and get that game for Switch.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm double dipping, but most of my friends that I know that are getting it didn't get it the first time, so.
Yeah.
I got it for PlayStation when it first came out, and then I got it on Xbox One when it was like $7 because I was just like, oh, I could play Doom again, and I'd already sold back my PlayStation copy and was like, I beat it. What am I gonna do with it? Just gonna sit here. So I ended up buying it digitally on Xbox One for like $8.
Nice.
Good. So. Yeah, that's a great deal.
Yeah, I got mine for I think Black Friday for like $20 at like Best Buy.
Yeah. Well, like Bethesda always puts their games on sale like every other week on one of the consoles. So it's like what did I get? I got both Wolfenstein games for like $9 because they bundled them together on Xbox One. So I got Wolfenstein New Order and Old Blood for $9.
Yeah, I think there's a physical copy too. I think they released that.
Yeah, it's $30.
Oh.
But like I would just wait because those games are on sale separately on Xbox all the time.
I'm wondering. I hope people don't feel the same way about Doom on Switch. That they'll wait for it to go on sale.
Yeah, because it won't.
Well, I don't know.
Well, I mean, it might, but it won't ever
people,
drop to like $10.
Yeah, I think people are gonna go out and get it at full price because the love of cartridge is coming back, and people just like, yeah. And the case look for it, the new artwork for it looks good.
Yeah, is the cartridge red? It's not red, right? It should.
They should do that. That would be super cool.
Like I said, the Super Nintendo one's red. They should do the Switch one red again and make it taste like blood when you lick it. Yeah. Or like demon skin, whatever that tastes like. Did you record any of that? I thought that was a great Doom.
Yeah, it's all. I've been recording since we got on. I always do, just because like sometimes after the show I put like bloopers or like pre-roll stuff out there just for people to listen to previous like pre-conversations or whatever.
Yes.
Sure.
So, well, are we ready? Everybody ready? Okay. Man, Ed, it's been a while since we've had a guest on the show.
Yes, I'm so happy.
I think our last guest was Ray. Honestly.
Yeah, it was. unless you call
that was
the crossover with Jesse.
I don't.
Okay.
No, because Jesse's going to be on our Tuesday shows now, so I don't really consider him a guest either. But all right, I'm going to start now.
Cool.
Okay.
Like up, okay, or whatever.
I'm trying to line myself up because I just noticed I wasn't centered, but that's okay. Oh, okay, here we go.